Hi, thank you for watching this video. There are three things that are takeaways from this video. The first is that communication can save your life. The second, preparation is king. And third, attention is currency. I want to start from that third point. The fact that you're watching this video means you're spending your time, spending your attention. And when we think about spending in general, we usually want to ask, why am I spending? What's the basis for this spending? To know if it's going to be frivolous or if it is something more calculated or planned. I think there are three things that are factors for spending attention, if you put it that way. There are three factors for attention. The first and the obvious one is interest. When you are interested in something, you will naturally pay attention to that thing. It could be a movie, it could be a person, it could be some sort of food. When you're interested in something, you'll give your attention to learning how to do that thing, knowing that person better, etc. The second factor for attention, in my opinion, is boredom. When people are bored, then they will give their attention to just about anything. They are looking for something to interest them, and therefore they will freely give their attention to anything that they feel might have the potential to interest them. So you see people scrolling on social media, for example, they are bored, they are looking for something interesting. You see people sitting at a bar, they're not really doing anything there, they're just trying to relax and find something interesting. So sometimes when you hear the small talk in the bar, you'll be like, are you guys really sitting down to talk about this for hours? Now, don't get me wrong, I think relaxation is important, socializing is very necessary as well. But then I'm talking about those people who stay the whole day. Like 9 a.m. on a Monday morning or Tuesday morning, you find them sitting at the bar, trying with a drink, trying to make small talk, etc. I feel like, and this is not to judge anybody, but that might be as a result of boredom, and they don't just want to stay home alone or be so bored in their own space, and so they come out looking for something to interest them. So that's the second factor for attention. The third thing, in my opinion, and while this is a little bit connected to boredom, I decided to put it separately because it kind of operates in a different way. The third thing is distraction. When people are distracted, their attention is taken away from them. So this is the difference, in my opinion. For the other two factors, you give your attention to whatever you give it to, either it's something of interest or due to boredom. But for distraction, it is taken away from you. So something captures your attention, and before you know it, you've spent 3 hours, gone down a rabbit hole, just probably not learning anything important or anything new. It's just you being distracted. Why am I talking about attention and the different ways attention is being spent? Because I feel for all these three factors, one thing that is common or driving each of them is interest. People are looking for something to catch their interest. So they want to be interested. And as a creator of content or as a person who speaks to other people, if you need people's attention in general, you need to be able to capture their interest, and therefore you need to be interesting. Now, this is something that has captured my interest. How to be interesting. Now, of course, it's quite impossible to be interesting to everybody, but at least how to be interesting to enough people to give you the attention you desire. Or put another way, as much attention as you want, the more interesting you need to be. So different ways to think about it. Now this leads me nicely into the second takeaway from this video: preparation is king. If you want it to be interesting to people, I feel like it's important to prepare. Now, there's the place of spontaneity and just being an interesting person in general. I feel, however, that preparation is very important to be able to present whatever you're presenting in a way that captures the interest of others. Now, some people are talented, they know how to do things on the fly, and it'll still be interesting. Many other people, however, need to think about it a little bit, maybe a little bit creatively, but just prepared to entertain in that sense or capture the interest of the audience. Now, there's so many examples I can give. A movie needs to be prepared. It needs to be rehearsed, and there's so many times on the set where there are multiple takes for a certain scenario or a certain scene. A drama, a music performance, it needs to be rehearsed, it needs to be prepared to make it in such a way that it will capture the attention of the audience. So preparation is king. There are very few professions that are off the fly, where there's not much preparation going into it. In fact, I almost don't know any profession like that, maybe except stand-up comedy or some sort of spontaneous interactions, which, if you think about them, also have many years of practicing and preparing their material so that it now becomes a little bit more spontaneous. So preparation is very important. In meetings, you're going into an official meeting, you have a presentation to make. Preparation can save your life, so you don't just end up feeling embarrassed or feeling like you didn't represent yourself well. Now to the third takeaway from this video: communication can save your life. Look, especially in corporate settings, if you're not able to communicate properly, you'll be passed over for promotions, you will not be noticed. In fact, your very good work, technically, might be ignored because you just don't know how to communicate it effectively. I heard of this tragic example where some astronauts died because when their rocket ship took off, there was some sort of explosion. And when there was investigation done into that explosion, it turned out that some engineers had flagged that some faulty equipment in the rocket ship. They had flagged it, but because they didn't communicate it well enough, the astronauts, nobody actually paid attention to it, and it cost the astronauts' lives. Now, that's a very tragic example, and it's quite extreme. But the point there is, you might be saying something valuable. I might be saying something valuable, but if I don't know how to communicate it well, it might just fly over people's heads. I learned something recently about the vocal image and the visual image. When you see someone for the first time, you see how they appear, how they look, and this kind of forms in your mind who they are. You make some guesses, assumptions about who this person is. Now, when they open their mouth to speak, then you form a belief about who this person is. You've probably seen people who, they look very professional, they look like people with authority, and then when they open their mouth to speak, you realize that, okay, maybe this person doesn't really have as much authority as he claims. Now, I'd like to point out that I've learned this from Vin Yang, so it's not an original idea. But the point is, communication, knowing how to communicate, present your ideas in a very good manner, in a manner that people can understand, can be the difference between being recognized or being ignored. It can also save your life or save the life of others. just like in this example with the astronauts. Thank you for watching this video. Today is April 11 and my goal is to try to share what I learn every day. So thank you for watching today's video.